So we're going to review some properties of real numbers. These properties help explain why algebraic steps work. We will look at the commutative, associative, identity, and inverse rules. First, the commutative rule for addition. This says that changing the order of addition does not change the sum. For example, a plus b is equal to b plus a. Or something like 3 plus 8 is equal to 8 plus 3. Both sides equal 11. The commutative rule for multiplication says that changing the order of multiplication does not change the product. A times b is equal to b times a. For example, 4 times 7 is the exact same thing as 7 times 4. Both sides equal 28. Next, let's look at the associative rule. The associative rule for addition says that when adding 3 or more numbers, changing the grouping does not change the sum. In other words, a plus b plus c is the same thing as a plus b plus c. Or, for example, 2 plus 5 plus 9 is equal to the same thing as 2 plus 5 plus 9. Over here, we would have to do 7 plus 9, since we need to do parentheses first. Over here, we would do 5 plus 9 first to get 14. 7 plus 9 is 16, and 2 plus 14 is 16. So both sides equal 16. The associative rule for multiplication says that when multiplying 3 or more numbers, changing the grouping does not change the product. AB, all times C, is the same thing as A times the product BC. For example, 3 times 4 times 5 is the same thing as 3 times 4 times 5. We would do parentheses first. 3 times 4 is 12. Times 5, and 12 times 5 is 60. On the right-hand side, we would do parentheses first. 4 times 5 is 20, and 3 times 20 is 60. Both sides equal 60. Next, let's look at identity rules. The identity rule for addition says that adding 0 does not change a number. A plus 0 is equal to A. For example, 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. The number 0 is important. This is known as our additive identity. It's the one that adding 0 does not change anything. For multiplication, the identity rule says that multiplying by 1 does not change a number. A times 1 is equal to A. Or 4 times 1 is equal to 4. The number 1 is then known as the multiplicative identity. In general, an identity of an operation means you don't change the value. 0 is the identity of addition because adding 0 does not change the number. 1 is the identity of multiplication because multiplying by 1 does not change the number. Now let's look at inverse rules. The inverse rule for addition says that a number plus its opposite equals 0. A plus negative A is equal to 0. Or 8 plus negative 8 is equal to 0. This is why subtracting the same amount from both sides can help us isolate a variable. The inverse rule for multiplication says that a non-zero number times its reciprocal equals 1. Or A times 1 over A is equal to 1. As long as A is not equal to 0. For example, 5 times 1/5 is equal to 1. This is why dividing by a non-zero number can help us isolate a variable. These properties may sound formal, but students use them all the time. When they rearrange numbers to make a friendlier sum, they are using commutative or associative property. When they subtract to undo addition, they are using inverse operations. When they divide to use undo multiplication, they are using inverse operations. Equation solving is supported by properties of real numbers. These properties explain why our algebraic moves are valid.